left the cave simply on the request of Haridas Thakur. But here it is said it's not very glorious that a snake left its cave simply on the request of Haridas Thakur. In fact, the enviousness of the people that all went away. That is more glorious. And just by his glance, the person is out of all the bondage of birth and death. 198th verse. आरेक शुनतान अद्भुत आख्यान नागराज ये कहिला महिमा तहान. Now please hear another wonderful incident in which Haridas' glories were narrated by the king of the snakes. एकदिन बड़ एक लोकेर मंदिरे सर्पक्षत दंक नाचे विविध प्रकारे. Charmer was dancing in the courtyard of a wealthy person. The phrase sarpakshata refers to being bitten by a snake or to a snake charmer who is possessed by the predominating deity of the snakes, Vasuki, who is invoked by mantras when one is bitten by a poisonous snake. The word danka, derived from the Hindi word dank, meaning hood or stinger, refers to the person who makes a snake dance or to a snake charmer. So he has this siddhi of making a snake dance, remove the poison from the person whom the snake has bitten. And this siddhi he attains by worshipping the predominating deity of the snakes. Mridanga mandira gita tara mantra gore dankabedi savai gitiyena uchchai sware. Someone played the mridang and someone played cymbals as people loudly sang on all sides of the snake charmer. Everyone was absorbed under the influence of some mantras that he was chanting. The first line of this verse refers to singing to the accompaniment of musical instruments like the mridang, cymbals, or to being maddened, overwhelmed, or absorbed in the snake charmer's chanting of mantras. So he was chanting simultaneously. Mridang and kartal was also played, and people were accompanying this music. Daivagati tathaya aila haridasa danka nritya dekhena haya ekapasha. By providence, Haridas came there and began to wash the snake charmer from the side. The phrase Daivagati means without any purpose or by one's own sweet will. Daivagati means will of providence. Nobody planned. Automatically it happened that Haridas Thakur came there. Manushya Sharire Nagaraja Mantra Bole Adhisthana Hayanachaye Kutuhale. By the power of the mantras chanted by the snake charmer, the king of snakes had appeared in the body of the snake charmer and was happily dancing. Nagaraj refers to Shesha, the devotee of Lord Vishnu, Ananta or Vasuki. Adhisthana means situated or possessed. So sometimes we see Nag Puja done. So immediately we think this is Karma Kanda. There Adishesha is worshipped, Balaram is worshipped. When a Vaishnava is doing Naga Puja, there Adishesha enters. And Adishesha, who is devotee of Krishna Ananta, is only Vasuki. When the demons and demigods, they were trying to churn the ocean, immediately Mandara mountain became the churner and Vasuki became the rope. So in this way, they come, they help Krishna, they do see Krishna's service. So Vasuki Ananta Shesha is a devotee of Krishna. Kaliya dahe karilena yenatya ishvare se gita gayena karunya uchchasware. The snake charmer, he was loudly and sweetly singing about Krishna's dancing in the Kaliya's lake. Now, what he was singing Krishna's pastime. How Krishna subdued Kaliya. Kaliya had all enviousness towards Krishna and the devotees, that is Brajavasis. So Krishna jumped in the Kaliya lake, Yamuna. Kaliya was occupying that lake. So Krishna jumps in Yamuna, stands on the hood of Kaliya and goes on dancing. And in this way, the blood and the enviousness fire comes out of the mouth of Kaliya. He's completely subdued. He was to be killed, but Kaliya's wives, they come and pray Krishna. The phrase Kaliya Dahe refers to the particular lake within Kalindi river. This is known as Kaliya Daha. Being afraid of Garuda, the fierce poisonous snake, named Kaliya, the son of Kadru and Kashyap. So Kashyap had two wives, Kadru and Vinita. Vinita's son is Garuda. Kadru's son is Kaliya. So right from the beginning, Kadru's son Kaliya had so much of enviousness towards Garuda. He wanted to kill Garuda. He wanted, in fact, he wanted to kill Garuda, but Garuda, now it so happened once, Garuda's food is snake. So Kadru's son Kaliya is always afraid of Garuda. Envious also, afraid also, wants to kill also. But Garuda is more powerful. Once Garuda, he told that he was going on killing all the snakes at random. So all the snakes came together and told, every day we will give you some offerings. Don't just kill at random. Every day you will be given. So some snakes used to go offer themselves to Garuda. Now this was now the turn of Kaliya to present himself to be eaten by Garuda. What he did was he just ran away from that place, and he knew that there is a place, Kaliyadaha, that's a lake in Yamuna. In that lake, Garuda cannot come. Even if he runs away, that area itself, Garuda cannot come. Just because Garuda has got a curse that he cannot come to this lake. So Kaliya took shelter of that lake. And so happened now, Kaliya is just emanating poisoning the Vrajavasis. So Krishna has to subdue Kaliya and make him go away from this lake. Now he's so afraid after being subdued. He doesn't want to go away from that lake because he knew the moment he goes out of this lake, Garuda is going to kill him. But because Krishna has danced on the hoods of Kaliya, Krishna's lotus feet is imbibed on the head of Kaliya. Just by seeing Krishna's lotus feet, even Garuda will not do anything. Garuda, in fact, will pay obeisances. That is why it is said, every one of us should apply Urdhva Pundram, that is Tilak. Just by seeing the lotus feet, the Tilak Urdhva Pundram represents the feet of Krishna. Just by seeing the lotus feet of Krishna and Tulasi, nobody will dare to come near that person. Even Yamadutas will not come. That is the power of Urdhva Pundram. Now Kaliya, whose death was written in the hands of Garuda, now safely goes out of Yamuna. Even today also it is said, Kaliya stays in Fiji Islands. So that is the power of Urdhva Pundram. Urdhva Pundram is Krishna's lotus feet. Sometimes we think, oh, this is the emblem of ISKCON. That is why we intentionally don't put, because we don't want to show that we belong to some particular institution. No, it is Urdhva Pundram the marks which goes upwards, that's the lotus feet of Krishna. 3-4 days before, when we are doing Ramanuja episode, at that time, Govinda, who was converted to Shaivite, Nayanar, he was advised by Shailapurna to give up the so-called Shaivism and take up to Krishna consciousness. To such an extent, even the Shaivites got dream from Shiva, telling that this Nayanar should go along with Shailapurna and take up to Vaishnavism. Considering Vaishnavism to be something separate is a wrong thing. The conversation between Shailapurna, Tirumalai Nambi, and Nayanar, Govinda's converted name. So there, Nayanar asks, is this some different cult? That is the time Shailapurna says, this is not a different cult or a new cult. It is the eternally coming cult. It is an eternally situated philosophy where all the cults merge. All the cults merge. There one question is asked, what is the difference between horizontal line and the vertical line which is applied? Very clearly, Shailapurna says, horizontal line is applied by animals who don't know the rule of life. You see how the animals are, they are horizontal. Vertical lines are applied by human. They stand vertical. Human is having a vertical body. Animals have a horizontal body. Animals are interested in eating, mating, sleeping, defending. Human means he should know the goal of life. At least he should have the intelligence to inquire. He has it. But he should apply that intelligence to inquire into the supreme truth, to know the supreme truth. Just for competition, somebody is applying vertically, let me also apply horizontally. That is not going to work. And what is the use of chanting the holy name? When the acharyas have clearly said, Urdhva Pundram, that has even saved Kaliya, why have enviousness towards Urdhva Pundram itself? And apply some horizontal line and chant. It's not going to give any benefit. It is like doing some mockery over Vaishnavism. When we are taking up the holy name, chanting the holy name, that itself shows that one has taken the path of Vaishnavism, where all the paths meet. When somebody has taken it, then take it fully. Why half? Just take it fully. For a description of this great Kaliya, snake Kaliya, okay, for a description of this great Kaliya and the pastimes of Krishna subduing this Kaliya by dancing on his head, the Kaliya Daha, one should see Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 15th chapter, 47 to 52, 16th chapter, 17th chapter, verses 1 to 12. As Krishna, the master of all arts, danced on the heads of Kaliya at Kaliya Daha, the snake charmer imitated that dance while loudly singing songs about the mercy, great mercy, Krishna gave Kaliya on the pretext of awarding punishment. So this is the greatest mercy. Even the punishment given by Krishna is also greatest mercy. Krishna says, go out of Yamuna, go out of Raja. This is a punishment. It is good. Actually, Krishna protected Kaliya. So that is the greatest mercy. Shuni nija prabhura mahima haridasa padila murchita hai kotha nahi shwasa shaneke chaitanya pai kariya hunkar आनंदे लागील नृत्य करिते अपार हरिदास ठाकुरेर आवेश देखिया एक भीत हाय डंक रहिले न गिया गदगदी यायेन ठाकुर हरिदास अद्भुत पुलक अश्रु कंपेर प्रकाश रोडन करेन हरिदास वहाशय श्रीना प्रभुर गुण हैला तन्मया. Now Haridas was hearing the glorious pastimes of the Lord. which was chanted by the snake charmer, he fell unconscious to the ground and his breath stopped. So there is ecstasy which Haridas had. When he regained consciousness and some moments later, he roared loudly and began to dance in ecstasy. Seeing Haridas' ecstatic mood, the snake charmer stopped his dancing and stood off to the side. Thakur Haridas rolled on the ground, and wonderful ecstatic symptoms like hair standing on end, crying, shivering, manifest in his body. Haridas was fully absorbed in ecstatic love after hearing the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and tears of love flowed from his eyes. Overwhelmed by the snake charmer's songs describing Krishna's mercy, Haridas Thakur fell unconscious due to an awakening of love of God. Even symptoms of external consciousness like breathing could not be found in his body. After a while, he regained his external consciousness and roared loudly and began to dance in ecstatic mood. 1 minute. Okay. So it began to dance in ecstatic love of God. Seeing Mahabhagat Vaishnav Thakur Haridas dance in the mood of love for Krishna, the snake charmer, who was possessed by Anantadeva, respectfully stood aside, being absorbed in hearing and remembering Krishna's incomparably great quality of mercy on the fierce, cruel serpent Kaliya. Thakur Haridas became absorbed in love of Krishna and began to roll on the ground and cry as his transcendental body manifests tears and shivering and hairs standing on end. So in this way, now we were describing Garuda, we were describing Govinda's conversation, that is Nayanar's conversation with Shailapurna. At that time, Lord Shiva tells one thing, that to give clear understanding of the scriptures, three personalities have come. Vishwakshena as Nammalvar, then Anantashesha as Ramanujar. Now let's see, here all the characters are present here. And Garuda as Govinda. So that is how the right philosophy can be presented. I just went a little out of track because we are describing about Garuda, Krishna's mercy. Here also Anantashesha is describing Krishna's leelas. Anantashesha possessed the body of, entered the body of a snake charmer and describing the activities of Krishna. In this leela, Garuda is there. Garuda is also known as Vanaiti, Viniyata. Viniyata means Vinita son, Viniyata. Haridasi Bedi Sabegayena Harishe Yod Haste Rahi Danka Dekhe Ekapashe. Then everyone surrounding Haridas joyfully began chanting Krishna's glories, while the snake charmer respectfully stood to the side with folded hands. Haridas returned to external consciousness. The snake charmer again began to dance. Kshaneke Rahile Haridasir Avesha Puna Asi Danka Nirte Kaila Pravesha. Haridas Thakur Dekhi Avesha Savai Hela Ati Ananda Vishesha. So everyone were overwhelmed with joy after seeing Haridas' ecstatic absorption. Ekhane Padaye Tar Tanracharane Duli Dhuli Sabai Lepena Ange Hai Kutuhali. They all eagerly took the dust from his footprints and smeared it on their bodies. Are Kadanka Viprathaki Sei Khane Muniyo Nachi Muaji Gane Mane Mane Bhujilana Nachi Lei Abodha Barbare Alpa Manushye O Parama Bhakti Kore Eta Bhavi Ei Shane Achada Khaya Padila Yehena Maha Acheshtahaya Yehi Matra Padila Dankera Nirtithane Mari Te Lagila Danga Maha Krodhamane Ashe Pashe Ghade Mude Pitrera Prahara Nirghata Marai Danka Raksha Nahiara Vitrera Prahare Dvijajarahara Jarjarahaya Bapa Bapa Bali Baba Baba Boli Seshe Gela Palaya. One pseudo Brahmana who was in the audience thought, I will also dance today. Even an illiterate fool who dances like his in ecstasy is greatly respected by common man. Thinking in this way, he immediately crashed to the ground and became motionless. As soon as the pseudo Brahmana fell near the dancing snake charmer, the snake charmer became angry and began severely beating the Brahmana with a stick. After being beaten with a stick all over the body, the anguished Brahmana ran away screaming, Father, Father. So there are people who try to imitate. So by imitating, they want to gain some respect. He's seeing Haridas, who is not even educated. A Brahmana means he knows Vedas. He is not respected. And there is an illiterate person who has some ecstatic symptoms, who is displaying some ecstatic symptoms, and people are respecting him. To such an extent, Snake Charmer is standing with folded hands. So let me also do some acting. So he threw himself on the ground. But what happened? He was beaten instead of getting respected. He was beaten. Now, the word Dankavipra refers to the pseudo Brahmana, who was a hypocritical, deceitful, cheating, artificial imitative Prakruta Sahajya. Prakruta Sahajya. Last time also we had discussed. Who is in the material conception? Sahajya, who does not take to rules and regulations very seriously and sincerely. And lowest of the Brahmanas, being puffed up with the pride of being a Brahmana, being induced by his spiritual intelligence, the pseudo Brahmana tried to artificially imitate the transcendental characteristics of a Mahabhagavat Vaishnava Thakur Haridas. He thought, due to their blind faith, whenever ordinary foolish people see or hear any dancing or singing in a petty religious function, they offer abundant respect. Therefore, since people offer such respect to Haridas Thakur, who is an ordinary human being, born in a non-Hindu family, while I am born in the topmost Varna in Hindu society, if I can imitate the characteristics and 8 ecstatic symptoms of a Vaishnava Thakur's love, like an actor on the stage, then no one can estimate how much profit, adoration, and distinction I will achieve. When people respect an ordinary human being, a non-seminal Brahmana like Haridas Thakur, so much just by seeing his display of petty, ordinary emotions, then if I, the son of a seminal Brahmana, can simply mimic his transcendental emotions, I can't imagine how much profit, adoration, distinction I will receive. If I exhibit artificial emotions, then my insignificant material fame will certainly surpass the fame of the transcendental Vaishnava. Thinking in this way, in order to exhibit artificial sentiments, that atheistic, hypocritical Prakrita Sahajya fell on the ground and artificially pretended to be unconscious. As soon as that pseudo Brahmana deceitfully exhibited artificial sentiments by which one is naturally bound to slip and fall, Snake Charmer understood his deceitfulness and saw him as a disturbance and obstruction to his own dancing, therefore began to beat him severely. He insistently, severely, mercilessly beat that atheist on his shoulders, head, and other bodily limbs, left, right, center, everywhere. Due to the excessive beating, that fallen pseudo Brahmana ultimately left the place shouting, Oh father, save me. Oh mother, save me. I am dying. So thereafter, Snake Charmer happily continued on with his dance as everyone there watched in astonishment. Tabe Dankar Nija Sukhe Nachila Vistara Sabara Janmila Bada Vishmaya Antara. So tomorrow we'll see what happens next. There's a question asked, why did you beat the Brahmana? So answering to that, What are the answers given? That we'll see tomorrow. Any questions?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the class. A small question, Mataji, too. It is said that it is said about that presiding deity, predominating deity of the snake. But today's snake charmers are also called, and they are doing all this dance and all that, and they capture the snake or they bring the snake under their control. But I don't think there is any predominating deity appearing in them, or their mantras are really true. So how do we look at that angle? But still they are able to capture the snake.
Just because I don't know, that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. They are catching, that means some power is there. Na? Power comes from whom? From Krishna only. And Krishna gives it through the deities.
Mm-hmm.
And they must be also chanting. Na? We don't know what exactly they're doing, but
we don't know.
They are successful. Yeah. They are successful.
Okay. So that means there must be some power. It's not that they are doing total artificial.
Yajna Havan is done. Sometimes there's 1 minute. There is somebody is haunted. Then how the ghost is removed from their body? Sometimes you see the people are haunted. Yeah. That means who is a pujari, he
Tantric.
has power. Tantra is also a part of Veda only.
Yeah, Tantra Vedas, yeah.
Yes, Narayana.
When I was in the job in Raigad, we were placed in the middle of the forest. It was an Naxalite forest, and Odisha border was like 6 kilometers from our mine post. So in that area, we normally encountered several snakes. Like we had seen krait, we had seen cobra, we had also seen pythons. So the snake charmers of that area, those who earn money by showing some snake dance, they all come and catch the snakes primarily from that area itself. So once it happened such that I was with my friend, and one snake charmer, he came to that place to find some snakes, and we asked him, how do you catch? So he said that every Purnima they do a puja in the forest. There is a Vana Devata, and there is a Nagakanya forest, Nagakanya deity in the forest. So they pray to the deities, and these deities, they automatically reveal where they can find the poisonous snakes. And once they find the poisonous snakes, they take out the venom and they sell it in the market as antidote. So they come to know where is the actual burrow, where the snake can be found, how mature the snake is, all of these things, just by praying to the deity during every Purnima.
There's a process. People go to even crematorium and do so much of pujas there, puja, mantras, austerity, to become a good tantric. Then only they can remove the ghost.
Yeah.
They talk to the ghost. Once it so happened, our Boyser farm was so haunted, especially they were haunting the, there was a cow, her name was Lakshmi, she's still there. Whole body was just red. And our temple construction, that small temple, not a big thing, but that also construction, you need workers and all, the staff and all. So 2-3 people had come from Mangalore. None of them could stay there. Every time there used to be some accident, somebody falling from up, all ran away. Except for one Prabhuji only was there. Then he used to say that I see every day somebody walking. And then this place is haunted. I said, you're not afraid? He said, what to be afraid? Seeing him, even the ghost will be afraid. Such a powerful person he was. But we had to remove, because the cows also were not giving milk, used to cry. Then we did puja. Then the last day, 4th, 5th day, night only that puja used to happen. I used to go from here, night 11 o'clock. So last day, a big cobra came out of our farm, went away. The whole body of Lakshmi, which was red, became white. He told, now just see, the proof is one big snake will go out. This place will be now free from all the ghosts. Open land. Generally, that is why it is also said, small children, they should not be allowed to go after sunset outside, because negative elements are more. Small babies, especially, they should not be taken out. Up to the 5 years, we have to be very careful. So all these things are very important. We have to do always the Raksha Kavach for the children. Drishti, Raksha Kavach, that all is very important. So then I asked that person, you have caught the ghost? I said, "Haan." And I told, okay, let us do Harinam Sankirtan so that they will be liberated. He shouted at me, did I ask you or what? I'll be using this ghost. I said, what are you going to do with this ghost? I'll use this ghost, he told. So there are the certain tantras which we cannot understand. We will say, how is it? Why is it? Why is he doing? And that is his profession. There are people who use the ghost. They pay in crores to become rich. They to become successful. So that is all.
Mataji, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Mataji,
You
in
want some ghost or
Kalia's
what?
case, huh?
I thought
No,
you were going to
no
ask,
ghost.
you want some
No
ghost or
ghost.
what to come back to
No,
Thane?
no ghost. Mataji, Kalia had all negative qualities. Kalia's wives did not have so much negative qualities.
No,
But
they were
today,
not have
uh,
much need. They were devotees.
they were devotees. But today, if there somebody wants to use some negative word, they will say that person is Nagin. They don't say that person is Nag. Why, Mataji? वो Nagin jaisa hai, they say that.
Nagin has more enviousness. We are not talking about Kalia's wife now. We are talking about, they are Naga Patni, understand? They were not called as Nagin. They were called as Naga Patni. They assumed the form of the snake, but they were not Nagin. Nagin has retaliating and revenging attitude. You kill a snake, Nagin will not leave you. She's so attached to her husband. She has that revenging. You cannot escape her. She is more envious than the snake. That is why.
Okay.
If more enviousness is there, then they'll say Nagini.
Okay.
Yeah. And one more question, Mataji. Being afraid of Garuda, the fierce poisonous snake named Kalia, son of Kadru and Kashyap. So, any small incident where Garuda snake is becoming son of Kashyap Muni.
There's a story, na?
I don't know that. Just short.
That eggs and all, that story is there.
Okay.
The story is there. I'll just read and tell you tomorrow. The story is there. That Kadru wants. Somebody knows that tomorrow Narayana can tell that story. He's very good in stories. I am good in philosophy. He's good in story. Tomorrow Narayana, you tell about Kadru and.
So we'll wait to hear from Narayana Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good in stories.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Mataji.
as much as he is good in story, I am so poor in stories. I cannot tell stories.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.